Hello, around the Mad God, Vulcan here. So we're now at a Manor of the Immortals, and this is the newest dungeon with the latest version of Around the Mad God that just came out. Um, yeah, so here we go. This is about a little 15 to 17-ish dungeon. I personally think it's a little bit harder with the boss fight, but you'll see that in a little bit. So for the mobs that you're going to run across, first you're going to see the bats. Those are going to be the most annoying out of all of the monsters that you come across, probably, at least are in my opinion. They do confuse on you when they touch you, and yeah, that's annoying. That'll get you killed real fast if you're not careful. So watch out for them. As far as damage goes, they don't really do a lot, like at all. So damage-wise, they won't do much, but they'll get you killed if you're not careful. Next, you'll see these they're like little bald purple guys. I call them cultists, but I'm not really sure what their actual name is. Really, they're not too much of a trouble, not too much of an issue either. They just do some really basic damage. They're not too much anything to worry about. The purple armor. They're these large purple armory looking dudes. They're gonna do basically just some really big damage to you. They don't really. They're not hard to dodge by any means, but they're just going to be a pain when you're in a room and you're trying to kill all the other enemies, or if you get confused or something like that, and then you run into their bullets. It's just there to do a little bit more damage on you. So watch out for them if you do encounter them, but I wouldn't worry about them too much. Excuse me. Then there's going to be the Hellhounds. Now these are definitely going to be the ones that you watch out for. The Hellhounds are these black wolf-like beasts. And what they do is they shoot out like a really tight shotgun projectiles, and these are going to do bleeding on you. Now, the bleeding is a pain in itself because that's a new mechanic added to Realm of the Mad God. What that's going to do is that's going to rapidly pull down your health. You will survive it if you're like really low on health and you take the blast, but you survive it, but you're inflicted with bleeding. You cannot die from bleeding alone. It will take you all the way down to 1 health. So if you are hit with it, go to a very safe spot and hope that no one drags something onto you, like even a bat, because that'll probably kill you. So yeah, you can't die from bleeding, but watch out for it. And then definitely watch out for the shotgun, because they're going to lunge at you and then shoot their shotgun. And you'll see in a little bit here, one of the 3 people in this room actually dies from it. So yeah, it's a little surprise that you'll get to see in a little bit. And then finally there are these, I call them Nosferatu. I'm not sure what their actual name is, but they remind me of the little guy from SpongeBob that flicks the light on and off. So yeah, that's what I call them. They're, again, not too much of a trouble. They do some decent damage, but they also do weak, and that's going to stop you from doing all the damage that you want to do. But besides that, again, not too bad. That's about it for all of the mobs that you'll come across going through the dungeon. But something to keep your eye out for, you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of bookshelves throughout the map. You actually saw me destroy some bookshelves in the center of a room to reveal another Nosferatu-y guy. I don't know what he's doing there, I don't want to know. But there's some of them scattered around, and behind them are these 2 coffins, or at least from what I've experienced. There's 2 coffins, and if you're lucky, you'll get a soulbound drop from them, and they can actually drop these purification potions, which I talk about a little bit later in the video, because I actually get one from the boss. So yeah, once we get there, I'll explain a little bit more to you. But keep an eye out for those. Shoot at any and all bookshelves you come across to see if you can find that extra hidden room. It's pretty neat. And yeah, that covers the dungeon. Hope you guys, well, that didn't cover the dungeon, it covered the getting to the boss part. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit once we get to the boss. See you then. Alright, so here we are at Lord Ruthven, excuse me, the boss of the Manor of the Immortals. Now, this guy is going to do a few different attacks. One of them being he just throws out these daggers. It's really easy to avoid, really slow. I'm not sure how much damage it does, but it's probably not that bad. Another thing that he'll do is he'll split up into a group of bats, or multiple groups of bats, rather. From what I noticed during my boss fight with him, is that maybe like one or two of these groups will be uh, Ruthvel himself, while the other ones will just be mobs that he spawns in and that you can kill off. They'll basically be just the same bats that you fight during the whole dungeon itself, but there's just like a big group of them. I'm not sure how that works or what you should be looking out for or any tips on that, really. Just shoot the bats and run away. That Necro has 33 speed, and he's just barely getting away from those bats. So you're going to want to be careful with them for sure. Most people will probably have more speed than that, but this dungeon, excuse me, is aimed at maybe like 15 to 17 level people. So yeah, there's that. Next, or well, rather, one of his other attacks will be he'll throw out these coffins, and he'll throw out four of them in each different direction, up, down, left, and right. And the turrets themselves act like turrets, basically. Um, they'll open up and then just shoot out at you like a really basic attack. And there's nothing to it, just dodge the turrets. And so once you destroy these coffins, they actually spawn 1 to 3 more mobs, and they'll try and zap you or kill you or whatever there is trying to do to you. So watch out for them. And as you can see here, I'm able to destroy the very bottom one, but I ignore the other 3. And what happens is those coffins are actually opening up, and the minions themselves are coming out of the coffins. The coffins will be destroyed, just like if I destroy them, but the minions are going to be there. So there's going to be a whole bunch of minions you'll see later in the video that have just accumulated there over time because I haven't gone in and tried to kill them off. I still wouldn't recommend going inside the actual room itself, like going into the center. Just keep trying to pull the boss, because it's going to be a pain trying to fight all the mobs, all the coffins, all by yourself, if you are trying to solo this. If not, then you shouldn't have too much of a trouble with a group of people. Finally, he'll also shoot out like 3 golden bullet waves around him. And those, again, they're maybe a bit of a challenge to dodge, but they're not too much of trouble. So yeah, those are his attacks. It's not too bad of a boss fight. Again, I'm not really sure how the bats work, or if doing damage to the bats will do damage to him. So yeah, that's kind of iffy, and I apologize for not having solid information, but that's all I could get to get this video out. Let's see, so he has a few different drops, about 1 of them, 1 or 2, maybe 3 is going to be what people are going to be after. The first thing that everyone's going to be after is a new tome. It's an untiered tome, and what it'll actually do, it doesn't heal for a lot, but it will remove any negative effects like paralyzed, quiet, confused. It'll remove those like the old tomes used to. So that's going to be why everyone's going to want to be after these. So definitely something to look out for if you can get one of those. That'd be awesome, because that could easily save someone's life if they're hit by a confuse and they like run into death. So yeah, there's that. There's a wand that drops that's kind of meh. It's not that great, but people are going to be after it. There's a, let's see, a robe that I actually get. The Chasuble of Holy Lights. And again, it's not that great of a robe. Yeah, it's about the same as the moon that I've got on, I believe. But it has, I think it's got like 2 more def. It doesn't have the attack bonus. About the same extra MP. And then, and then I think it gives like 4 Vit and 4 Wiz. So if you're into Vit and Wiz, then great, that's what you're going to be after. But besides that, yeah, it's not that great of a robe. So there's that, and then finally, well, not finally, 2 more things. There's the Bone Dagger, which is, it's an interesting dagger. The damage it does isn't that great, but it will actually pierce enemies. So that's got a neat quality about it. There's a whole bunch of piercing items coming out, weapons coming out. So it's, you guys know what they do. You know, they pierce through multiple enemies. So you can do a whole bunch of damage. That would be useful like at a cube god where it's got all the minions on it, where a cloak like, or excuse me, a rogue will like cloak in and try and kill it, but it can't get any damage onto the cube itself because of all the little minions on it. So having that pierce ability is pretty neat. And then last but certainly not least is the purification potions. And what these are going to do, it's going to do just a basic 100 health heal. But on top of that, it will cure you of any negative effects. Actually, exactly like the tome. So it's a one-use item though, so you're gonna want to use it sparingly if you do get one, which I do. Um, so you get to see that as well, and that's gonna be handy for not only healing you but also getting that negative condition taken off of you. So it's very handy to have around, like have one in your inventory or whatever if you're gonna be running these dungeons or running anything. Just having one is very convenient. So that is that. That really covers everything for this boss fight. Um, he'll probably also drop incantations, but the hard info on the dungeon isn't out at the moment. But I want to get this to you guys so that you know how, like a very basic um, information on how to run the dungeon. So that is that. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you later. Actually, I apologize for any weirdness with the video. I'm not sure what happened with the fraps, but you can see it's running a little bit wonky. I tried to bump it up to 2x, twice as fast, so that this 19-minute video is cut down to about 15 minutes in some parts, but for the most part, it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see, the last time with the trench, I opted not to do the sped up video, and this time I did. I don't really like it, but yeah, let me know if you guys do or do not like it, because personally I don't. But if you guys think that it helps, if it's more convenient for getting through the video, or if I should just post like times of when you should click to get past all the boring parts, I can do that as well. As you can see, there's also some issues with jumping around after in parts of the video. So again, I apologize. Yeah, sorry about that. But that about covers the dungeon. Again, sorry, and I will see you guys in the realm. Bye, guys.